okay. But
Athena and Willow had a good match, I thought.
they had a really good match. It wasn't the women's match of the year, as some people are calling it, but I mean, it was top 5 in North America, you know, maybe even top 3. It was really good. They did, they told a story in this match that I'm sure there might be 3 people in the world that appreciated it. And they're the 3 people whose finishers were used in the match. I don't think any fans got it but I will say that Ian Riccaboni did a great job telling the story, but I don't think anybody picked up on it. You know,
no,
all these women's finishers.
Yeah, it was too inside baseball. I didn't.
Well, the thing is, okay, I'm an ROH historian, right?
Yes.
When the Women of Honor was a joke.
Yes.
Like they had bad women's wrestling
for
years. Mandy Leon. You know, they've had some good ones in there. I mean, but they booked it worse than Tony books AEW Women. I mean, you were lucky if you had one match on a show.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't, for the longest time, they didn't have a title. A lot of these like finished, they were bringing up Daisy Hayes and
you had Sarah Del Rey and a bunch of people.
Sarah Del Rey was good, but she had nobody to work with.
Correct.
And they were a sister promotion to, was it Shimmer?
It's either Shimmer or Shine. You can get one of the two, but I always get the two mixed up.
Yeah, and they would bring in the women from there, and they would have a match every once in a while, and never on pay-per-view, rarely on television. And so these women, you know, it was kind of like the old WWE Divas division, where you got a match every couple weeks. And so yeah, these women paved the way, quote unquote. They got serious-er in just before the pandemic. They had that tournament that Roxy won, and they you know, they did some good matches there.
Yeah.
And then since Tony took over, like, Athena's killing it by all accounts.
Athena's killing it.
I'm not watching, but
the 2 most interesting women on this division are people who are killing it on shows that nobody watches.
Correct. And then there's literally two selling points for the ROH show that I've been told is Athena and this Righteous Dark Order storyline. And I'm sorry, that doesn't do it for me.
Not going to do it for most people.
No. So, yeah.
Oh, by the way, we need to say that the other one I'm alluding to is, of course, Emi Sakura, Queen of Dark and Dark Elevation.
She's on there as well, yeah. And then Willow, when they bring her over, is, you know, doing really well as well. Which brings us to women's wrestling, which was a big topic this week. We kind of brought it up. And the thing is, when we do our show, we're doing it right after Dynamite ends. So we don't know what the talking points are going to be and everything. And so I mentioned, they booked that Britt Baker match because Tony remembered he hadn't booked a women's match. And so he had to throw it in somewhere there. You know, I'd make these offhanded comments all the time. But it turns out a lot of people felt that way. And Dave and Brian talked about it on Wrestling Observer Radio, and then it kind of blew up. And then Dave had a point, and I think it was directed at our own Sam Shipman or people like her. But there aren't a lot of people like her. So I think it was directed at Sam Shipman, where he said these people that use a stopwatch and record the women's matches, and they, you know, and Tony's trying to appeal to them or something like that. I can't remember exactly how Dave worded it. And now Sam and Mel on the Power Bombshells have dubbed themselves the Timekeepers. That's their tag team name.
I'm here for that.
Yes. That's great.
And look, I understand, Dave. I've done that before. I did that before I knew Sam. I went after her a little bit. Even before I knew about it, because it was getting a little bit much for me at times. But I've changed my mind on it quite a bit. That thread on the board is full of morons.
I started it.
I know you started it, but then morons came into the thread, not you.
Can I say that Sam, though, and some others that actually have the right intent?
Yes.
They're missing the forest for the trees.
Oh, okay.
Because the point, like, Tony could have booked a 25-minute women's match. He could have booked Britt Baker against Toni Storm, and they could have gone out there and had a 25-minute match. And that would have been fine, and that would have looked good for Sam's stopwatch and everything. But it doesn't change the fact that he's still checking a box.
No, and also that this division is poorly booked, which made that show of the sign was something because I think to them a long Britt Baker Tyra Valkyrie match, and this match was way too long.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it wasn't even that long, but it was too long.
I know, but both of them were blown up, which is just ridiculous. That is the key to a good women's division. And this is where writer, actor Jeff enters the picture and tells you people that no, it's actually about character motivations and people talking to one another and building feuds and being interesting people other than people that are good in the ring. That is what will build an interesting women's division. Paul, name a single motivation that any female wrestler other than Britt Baker, who wants to be the face of AEW, which is an office politics motivation, has for coming to AEW and being a wrestler for money. Because I am told by many an AEW fan that, you know what? Being the best is enough. I say nay, sir. Nay! That is not enough. Because, of course, everybody wants to be the best at what they do, and the spirit of competition, which is why I couldn't stand Ring of Honor. Still can't stand Ring of Honor.
Can I tell you something here? And your point's all right, but I wrote almost 4 pages of notes for this show tonight. I have over 2,000 words written.
Look at you.
And how much words did I write about women other than Britt Baker and Taya's match and Britt Baker's promo?
Probably 0.
Yeah, other than Anna and Tay being a part of Jericho's promo.
Yes.
Now there were segments on the show that built up things that were coming, which like Britt's promo did. There were attacks that happened after matches that involved people that weren't in the matches. There were segments on the show, multiple segments on the show, involving angles of people that weren't even on the show other than those segments. Did we get anything building up a women's match for any point at any point? My point is the guys are all over the show, whether they're wrestling or not.
Yes.
And I don't mean like, just there's a bunch of guys on the show. I mean, MJF and Cole were on the show. FTR was on the show doing promos to build to a match that they have. Jericho was on the show to, building up this angle that's been going on for months. Is there one women's program in AEW? Like a one-on-one program between 2 women?
No, there's the Outcasts and Britt.
They're not even feuding with anyone.
Right.
They're feuding with the company.
No, and right now, we had a promo with Nyla Rose.
Oh yeah, to build up one match
and Sheeta to do a match in 2 days.
Right, that match is
and there's no stakes to it whatsoever.
No, I think there is. I think the winner's getting a title shot at Wembley. I think. Which is ridiculous.
They alluded to something like
2 women that we haven't seen in months.
Yeah,
someone's going to correct me. I think Nyla maybe had a match less than a month ago.
Yeah,
that she lost.
Yes,
but 2 women that have not been featured are going to be wrestling for a world title match on their biggest show.
Yes,
is what it sounds like.
Yes.
Which I assume is maybe Jamie Hayter's not going to be ready because the obvious match seemed to be Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter, which could have honestly, I'll go on record as saying this. If they were going to book Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter, that could and maybe should headline Wembley. I know you're looking at me like you think I'm nuts.
I'm pondering it.
Just, you know what? Honestly, reparations. If nothing else, and I think they could pull it off. Like, I think they're both good enough, and I think the crowd would be into it. The historic notion of having 2 women headline a show in front of 80,000 people, I think the crowd would buy into it and would treat it with the respect it deserves. But it's probably not happening, so it doesn't matter. But
my improv partner is knitting a flag over what the hell they were doing with Taya. Because Taya and John are friends.
Oh yeah. But no, they need to book their women's division better, and it's not just
they need to give them characterization. They need to give them feuds. They need the basic building blocks of regional professional wrestling, where they come in, they speak for 30 seconds about how they feel about a certain somebody, and then they leave. There's no necessary. There's no, oh, and now they have to face each other right now. No. Just light the fuse.
Or how about like Nyla is building to a match with Shida, but meanwhile she's really feuding with, I don't know, just draw a name out of a hat, Sky Blue. And so her match against Shida is getting her ready for this match with Sky Blue. Now there's multiple layers, and this is very
How about
basic.
she was hired by Toni Storm to go take out Shida?
There you go. Something, anything.
Nyla Rose is here to get paid to hurt people. And then Toni Storm decides to use that motivation to her advantage and gives her a briefcase full of money to take out Shida so she doesn't have to face her in Wembley.
It doesn't work. So next week it's Marina.
Right.
Because Marina is Nyla's partner. But meanwhile, you got that story going on. Now you got something with Britt as well. And maybe you got something with Sky Blue. And maybe you got
Britt
something
is
with
trying
Willow.
to figure Britt is in a moral quandary because her friend, the champion, is out. And she really wants to go after the championship, but she's afraid if she gets the championship, then she'll have to go up against her friend. So that's good enough motivation.
Tell us that story. Why
yes.
not?
No. I am literally pitching stories here right now.
And then we've got Chris Statlander, who has an open challenge championship. And here's a dirty little secret. Open challenge means that the booker is too lazy or doesn't care enough to book an actual program. So he just calls it an open challenge.